Hey guys, you're watching Boondocking with Dennis. Good afternoon. My buddy Calvin, that's RV Living with the Geezer. Calvin is a retired firefighter. And he asked me if Fulton, Texas and Rockport, Texas had their own independent fire companies, or if they shared one. Now this structure here is fairly new. This is the Fulton Fire Department, and at their old location about a half mile from here, I remember in 2001, right after 9/11, I moved here for a year and a half, and they had a pair of old fireman boots sitting outside of the firehouse with one of those little tiny American type parade flags stuck in it with a helmet on top. And that was the most fitting and moving 9/11 memorial that I came across. It was really powerful. I know I took some photos of it at the time, but that was long before I got on social media. I don't think I even considered social media until about 2008. But this is a fairly new building, Calvin, and by new, within the last 10 years. And I did a video from here years ago, and they actually had an old beat up fire truck in that field over there where all the construction company is. But this is the Fulton Volunteer Fire Department. I don't even know what that stuff is. I got no idea. Maybe Calvin will know, or one of you other firefighters, or people that get outside more than I do. Well, I live in my truck, so it would be tough to get outside more than I do. There's the Fulton version, Calvin. And we'll head over to the Rockport Fire Department so I can show that to you. It hasn't rained for about 2 hours, guys. I drove a friend to church and just taking a little doggy break. Gonna head back there real quick. And then over here in Rockport, another fairly new building, at least in my world. You know, within the last 20 years. This is the Rockport Volunteer Fire Company. And if you can see that tower sticking up back there, we were over here filming when my buddy Mark climbed that tower. And I know a few people that volunteer here. God bless the firemen. God bless the firemen. And that also has a historical marker in front of it. By the way, guys, why I'm blessing the firemen, well deserved. God bless all our veterans. Happy Veterans Day, everyone. I got to see a few veterans at church this morning. Those old bikes, isn't that pretty? Reminds me a little bit of the display Anita has. My friend Anita from Flower Folk Farm. And of course right down here they got all the goodies. Absolutely love driving by this place. Something new every time. Of course there's our haunted house. Private property, no trespassing signs. I don't know what the history of that house is. I know there's a lot of historic homes in the area. I have to say, guys, I had planned to go record Luciano this morning instead of doing this video. And he would be undercover at the church. And then he knew I was coming and he wanted to talk about some things, or at least agreed to talk about some things. I would have loved to known. What did this used to be, guys? It looks like an old storefront. It's pretty neat. I love those kind of fronts, especially in older parts of town. But I got several scattered texts from Luciano this morning, and I just drove by the church. There's some event going on there today, so he's sitting on a bench in the covered drop-off area, and the parking lot is full, and there's some event going on, and he is rather disheveled about it that he wasn't informed. But it hasn't rained in a while, and he could have went to one of the covered areas. He could even have went to the back of the church. But Luciano does have a couple really interesting news in Luciano news updates, and I don't want to give it away, but I guess that's not going to happen until tomorrow, unfortunately. So sorry about the clickbait teasers, if you will. There's the Aransas County Detention Center. I got a buddy in there. Go bang on the wall. I'm sure nothing will. Maybe you can hear me. And there's the courthouse and the new city hall they're building. The closest structure is City Hall, and the furthest structure is the courthouse. I just thought it was odd. I thought they would have the courthouse closer to the detention center, but I live in my truck. What do I know? And then this property, they've been rehabbing this, rehabilitation of the Brock house, and look, they got some rails up. Not completed, not painted, but they do got some rails up. And that seemed to be the only thing they didn't complete every time we came by here. So that was kind of neat. There's a few historic homes right here. Look at all that porch space up there, huh? I bet you that was a nice view of the water at one point. They got an outhouse back there. That's more my speed. And here's another historic home with a historic marker that I'm sure we've read 2 or 3 times over the years. That's a side view of that house. Very nice. Let's go check out the water. And I'm actually looking for someone at Rockport Beach. And this is Veterans Park right here, guys. I don't know why I always thought we celebrated Veterans Day on a Monday. And we've shown this in the past as well. You can see there's a gentleman right there with a wheelchair, and he's saluting the American flag. His eyesight is the American flag. Had to pause for a second. One of the City of Rockport employees came over and asked me if I was here for the services, and I said no, sir. And but he did let me know there were services scheduled today, but because of the rain, they moved them over to the VFW at 11 a.m. today, and it is 9:40. And unfortunately, I won't get this up and published till right around 1 our time, but that was nice. Very nice of them to let me know. That statue's pretty amazing. It's a veteran standing up out of his wheelchair to salute the flag. And I think that's pretty effing awesome. I don't know if you guys remember the U.S. Cole servicemen were killed, and 2 of them were right from this area. So there's one of the memorial markers they have over here is for the Cole, and then they have different markers for major conflicts. It's a nice little veterans park. Just another little view. But I have to tell you, Luciano wasn't so disheveled that he couldn't put in a request for chicken tenders and white gravy. Luciano is fighting a different war than our veterans did. What kind of palm trees those are? I looked up a great fireman joke. Can't remember it, no idea what it was. That's how I roll. Getting old is great. Thanks for riding along today, guys. I appreciate you. Thanks for watching. Oh yeah, I remembered. What starts in F and ends in K? That's an easy one. Fire truck.